What's up? My name is Lamb, back at it again with another great video. On today's video, I want to talk to you about a business venture where you can make a lot of money from a little bit of money, and it's called wholesaling. If you haven't heard about this before, wholesaling is, you can do wholesaling in a lot of different avenues, but it's mainly talked about in real estate. And you can do this with as little as a couple $100s. Honestly, you can do this with $400. You can do this with up to $10,000. Whatever is within your budget and whatever is in your area. I say maybe around 5,000. That's what I would say is like the minimum, what I think is good. Something that I started to do in 2017, and it's actually how I started my real estate journey, is with wholesaling. I kind of fell off, and now I'm about to get back into it, and I'm thinking I can make a lot of money within the next couple years. The loan forbearance where they delayed payments, I think federally that's up in September. In COVID, we're slowly seeing COVID go away. More people are going to be selling their homes on the market, and we're going to see more late payments. We're going to see more foreclosures, a lot of assistance that people were getting, forbearances, mortgage delays, a lot of those things we're seeing going away. So within the next 6 months to a year, we are going to see a lot of homes going to market. Right now, during COVID, we weren't seeing as many homes on the market. We were seeing lumber prices go up. So housing prices were going through the roof, and a lot of people are predicting a crash, saying you could start seeing it happen or start seeing the prices go lower starting from 6 months to a year. And that could last for the next 1 to 3, 1 to 5, however many years. So if you have some money set aside, if you save some of your stimulus checks, if you made money in the stock market, I don't know anybody who lost money in the stock market last year. Like, you literally could have just monkey throwing darts. You could have picked random stocks and you could have made a ton of money in the stock market last year, at least doubled your money, like unheard of returns. So if you got some of that leftover stock market money, you can put it into wholesaling businesses. Like I said, you can take, I say $5,000. You can do it with less than $5,000, and you can make $30,000 in a month, $50,000 in a month. Wholesaling is a numbers game, just a numbers game, pure numbers and marketing. So what wholesaling is basically you find a person who is willing to sell their house. These are motivated sellers. That's what you call them. You find these motivated sellers, the people who want to sell their house, and you go to them, you say, hey, I'm a wholesaler, or say you're not a wholesaler. There's a lot of ethics behind it, whichever way you want to do it. You say, hey, I'm a wholesaler, can I put your house under contract? Usually you give them some kind of earnest money deposit or some kind of money down to kind of lock in this contract. And once that contract is locked in, they cannot go sell through anybody else. What you do is, usually you guarantee them within 7 days that you'll close and you'll get them cash for their house. So now you take this contract, you go to the cash buyers and you say, hey, cash buyers, I got a house. And they say, hey, we like this house, you got it for a good price. And they buy the contract from you, because once they sign that contract with you, they cannot sell their house to anybody else. So now you say, hey, I have this house in the contract, they buy the contract, and now that gives the end buyer, that's what it's called, the end buyer, the cash buyer, that gives them permission to buy their house. These cash buyers have cash, they pay their sellers. The cash buyer pays you a assignment fee because you are assigning them a contract. In Virginia, some people put an assignment clause in the contract. In Virginia, the law says, last time I checked, this was maybe 2017, so maybe the laws have changed, but the last time I checked, all home contracts in Virginia are assignable, like just by law. You don't even have to put that in the contract, but for ethical reasons and other reasons, so it's no confusion, no delays or backups, and everybody knows what's going on, full disclosure, full discretion, a lot of people put that assignability clause in the contract, and you say, hey, I want to assign this contract to this cash buyer. This cash buyer is going to give you $5,000, $10,000, $12,000, whatever you said, $20,000 to buy the contract. They buy the contract, they buy the contract from you because they want the house, because what they're going to do is, this house is in distress, it's in bad shape, it hasn't been taken good care of, it has tax liens, property damage, just all of this stuff. You got all of this stuff going on. So what they're going to do is they're going to buy it and then they're going to flip it. And even with all the repairs, even with your assignment fee of the $10, $15, $20,000, they can still make money. So that's the advantage to them. So they pay you because without you, the end buyer pays you, not the seller. So the sellers, they don't have to pay you anything. You actually gave them money, you made them money, you sold their house for cash. But these end buyers, they're going to pay you because without you, they would not have found the sellers. The sellers are going to be happy because you match them with somebody who is going to pay cash for their home. And the incentive to this is the fact that you get it in cash, the fact that you can do it fast. A lot of people like to do it within 7 days, right? So you might have concerns. You might say, hey, that sounds illegal. That sounds like you're practicing real estate without a license. So you need to check the laws in your state and in your area. But the way I seen it explained, where a lot of lawyers will even tell you that this is illegal. So you need to get like a good quality lawyer. You need to look at the laws yourself. You need to read them and figure out. And you know, if the lawyer says, hey, this is illegal in my state, it might be illegal, and it may not be illegal. And in Virginia, I know it's not, last time I checked. So if they say it's illegal, push back on it. Know the certain clause or the certain section of the law and say, hey, read this, da da da. Can you read this? To me, it sounds like this is not illegal. Where does it say this is illegal? Because it's illegal to advertise or say that you're selling somebody's house or you're gonna help somebody buy a home without a real estate license, but you're not selling their home, and you're not selling the house. You're not selling the house itself. You're not putting it on the MLS. You're not advertising it out there and promoting it. You're not staging it. You're not staging it so it can get fixed up to sell. You already have the rights to buy the home. What you're selling is you're selling the contract. So it's not practicing real estate without a license, because you're not selling the home, you're selling the contract, or you're assigning the contract, which is totally legal in a lot of states. So that's kind of how you get around that. And like I said, the seller doesn't pay you. If you were working with a real estate agent, the seller would pay you the 6% commission, or that's how it's done in Virginia. The seller would pay you the 3 or 6% commission. And in this case, the cash buyer pays you because they bought the contract, and you're just the middleman. So that's how you get paid. You get paid being the middleman. You get paid for the speed and the fact that instead of selling their house in 30 days, you can do it in 7 days. So now the question is, why would anybody want to pay, or why wouldn't everybody just go through a cash buyer or go through a wholesaler? Because wholesalers, you're going to offer them their house at a very reduced price. So 50 cents on the dollar, 40 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar if you can get it. If their house is, let's say, worth $100,000 in as is condition, then you're going to offer them 50. Let's say you fix it up, the ARV, the aftermarket value or after repair value is 170. It needs $30,000 in repairs. So what you're going to do is you're going to offer them it for 50. Then you're going to add on your assignment fee. So now you have it at $50,000 that you're going to offer to the seller, $50,000. Then you're going to add your assignment fee of $20,000. Now you're $70,000. Now the end buyer, the cash buyer, is going to buy it from you for $70,000, right? But the house is going to sell for $170,000. So now they bought it from you for $70,000. They're going to put $30,000 worth of work into it. So now they're all in $100,000. The 50 for the house, the 20 they paid for you, the 30 they paid for repairs. But the $30,000 repairs aren't really going to be $30,000. Let's say they're going to be $50,000. So now they're all in 120. But now they list it for 170. And they get let's say they get 160. So they still made $40,000 in a 6-month flip or an 8-month flip or whatever. They still made money. And the reason that you offer them the price so low is because everybody has to get paid. You never know what kind of condition these houses are in. The seller is motivated. If they want to sell, then they'll take a good and fair price that they feel is fair, that you feel is fair, and that the end buyer feels is fair. So everybody can eat, everybody can win, and everybody can get a deal that satisfies them. This is not about taking advantage of people. This is not about wanting to get over on people and little old ladies or anything like that. It's really about helping people. The best thing I can compare it to is when I went to my wholesaling seminar. The guy who was hosting it, he told me that it was a family where the the daughter was involved in some gang violence, and she needed to move like immediately. Like, she didn't care that her home was worth $300,000 and she only got $150,000 for it. Her daughter was in trouble, or her son or whatever was in trouble. She needed to leave town. She moved to California. She took the money and she was happy. So it's about helping people. You know, that if their house is about to go on foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, and they can't keep up the taxes, because then eventually they're not going to get anything for it. You know, if they need money to eat, to live, for retirement, different things. So it's not really about taking advantage of people. It's about helping people. These people need to sell their homes anyway. You're just like I said, making the money in the middle. They don't have time to wait to list it on the MLS, where that might take, you know, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. They need their money within 7 days, and that speed costs. So you're helping people. I would look at it in a way that you go to pawn shops. If you need some quick cash, they're gonna give you 50 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar. They're not gonna pay you full price, because then there's no spread to make that money. So, like I said, to be successful in this, it's really about marketing and advertising. You see the people that do the We Buy Houses banners and the signs. You see them all the time. And basically, I would say talk to any and everybody you know. Find these distressed properties. Look at probates. Look at, is a way to find out like estates, what estates, just like people that died recently, and then the house get passed down to the family if the family doesn't want a house. There's a lot of ways to generate leads. Distressed properties, if the grass hasn't been cut, if it looks abandoned, you know, figure out who the owners are. This is all public. Most of it's public information that you can find in your city. Sometimes you got to pay for these lists. Sometimes they're locked down or whatever. You can buy these lists offline, and you reach out to people, and it's a numbers game. You're gonna get turned down over and over and over. People will say, "Oh, you're not ripping me off. Oh, my house is worth way more than that." You don't want to deal with those people anyway. You want to deal with people who are happy to sell their home. So hopefully this works for you. And this is a business. I hear a lot of people asking, what's a business? I can start with less than $5,000, less than $10,000. You can do this relatively cheaply. You can do this for $400. All you have to do is find the cost of marketing, and maybe you want to put an LLC under it. So if you have any questions, if you have been successful in wholesaling, if you watch this video and you make a whole bunch of money in wholesaling, maybe you want to break me off some bread for teaching you and telling you about it. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and showing love. Instagram, LambNation98. I'm on TikTok, LambNation. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.